Welcome. In front of me is a Xiaomi 17 Ultra, and today I will show you how you can record screen on this device. So, to get started, you will want to swipe down from the top of your screen. Now you want to do it specifically from the right side, as the left side will get you notifications. Holy hell, there is a lot of them. Anyway, now once you pull down your toggles here, you are looking obviously for the screen or recorder. For me, it looks like it's over here. Now they don't have by default labels, so you're going to be looking for a camera icon, and if you can't find it anywhere, you can click on the edit, which will be at the very bottom, and below here you should definitely find your screen recorder toggle. When you do, you just want to simply press on that plus. As you can see, if that would have been it, it just gets added. And additionally, at the very top, you can also toggle on the labels. Now they're visible in the editing mode that we're right now in, but if you toggle it on, when you confirm it, they would also be visible right here. Now in any case, once you have the toggle added, first time I recommend holding it so you can quickly access settings, and I do recommend navigating in here, as by default some of the settings are a little bit iffy, I would say. So resolution is actually set pretty well at 1600 by 1200, so no problem here. That's the highest one you can go for. Video quality should be fine. You can increase it to 24, but keep in mind, by going higher, which you can go up to 100, that's basically how much storage you will be consuming per second. Like, this is literally 100 megabits of storage per single second. So don't crank it up all the way to the top just because you can. I find it that anything like 24 is already sufficient enough to not see any kind of pixelations or anything like that. Typically what you would see with too low of a bitrate right here is that when you record a video and something on that screen recording is in motion, in that motion it will look a little bit blurry, pixelated. The moment it stops, it will take a brief moment to kind of catch that sharpness, and yeah, that's basically what you'd be seeing. And there might be some like weird artifacting around like subjects. So if you have a imagery on that recording, let's just say like a white table or maybe like a gray one, right? And then the plant, for instance, around the edges of it, the parameters, you will find like a weird fuzziness happening, like a weird pixelation, or however you want to call it. So if you ever experience such a thing in your screen recordings, video quality will be the culprit right here, and you might want to increase it. Now 24 I think it should be good enough. I have never actually checked out this kind of footage on like a big ass TV to see how, when it's like expanded to 60 or 70 inches, right, how well that would look like. But on the phone, even at 16, I find that it looks perfect. I can't really find on phone screen anything wrong with it. Anyway, moving further down, we have orientation, which just kind of either forces the device to record the footage in specific orientation, or when it's set to auto, it's going to record it in whatever orientation you start in. And this will matter because when you switch orientation while recording, it will have black bars. So if you start in portrait mode and you move on to a game, the way that would be recorded is if the game was taking this kind of space right here of the screen, and you would have black bars on top and bottom. Even though you're technically, playing it in this kind of form, right, at that point, the screen recorder started in portrait, so it's going to continue recording it in portrait mode. And because of that, it keeps the imagery still correct, where the top and bottom of the image is and left to right. So it's not going to be, for instance, when you start in portrait, you have it like, top, bottom, you open up a game and it would just go from side to side. It would stay still the same way, position. So therefore it adds these black bars. And same thing goes the other way around. If you, for instance, start with a landscape recording where you already have a game open and you close it up to go to the home screen, you will then have black bars on the sides, as it will have basically this image positioned like so, with again more black bars here. So so in general, either set specific orientation right here, or when you're recording something, just try to have it permanently open, or you know, so it doesn't switch. Definitely don't start recording in an orientation that you will not be using. That's gonna not work really well. So you want to have already content open in the orientation that you're going to be focusing on, and from there you should be good to go. Next, sound source. Obviously, check whichever one you want, microphone, system, both. Now for both, I would recommend using headphones, as usually what will happen is the system sound is being recorded internally through software, and then it's being pushed to the speakers after it's already been recorded. And when it's pushed to speakers, microphone might pick it up the second time around, created an unwanted echo effect. So that's why you might want to use headphones. And lastly, and most importantly, we have the frame rate. For some reason, it's default to 24. Now, contrary to what Sony or Xbox would like you to believe, this is not a cinematic experience. This is a dogshit experience. So what you want to do right here is set it to 60. Now, you do have other options like 90 or anything between, but in reality, what you want to focus on is primarily 60 and nothing really else. For the most part, if you're planning to use these kind of recordings on social medias or anything like that, YouTube, Instagram, or anywhere else, recording over 60 is just going to get lost. When you upload it, it won't be using the full, for instance, 90 that you would be potentially recording in. It's going to downscale it in frame rate back to 60. So you're recording it at a higher frame rate for literally no reason. So I'm going to stick straight away with 60. And below that, we have couple toggles. Lock screen to end the recording, show touch gestures, which I'll enable just so you can see how that looks like, and show button taps. Anyway, let's close this up, and now we can start recording by just finding this toggle and tapping on it instead of holding it. And you get this overlay at the bottom with a couple options. Obviously, the first one is the start recording. Folder takes us to the screen recordings only, settings, and close. So I'm going to start recording. Now this overlay can be moved around and it won't be visible on the screen recording itself. So from now we can open up applications that you want to record, and I'm going to actually display how that looks like when you move something into landscape mode from portrait. If I can find something, what would be a good example here? Gallery, can I use gallery like this? Let's see. Okay, so I switched it specifically. Let's move it back. Anyway, so these should be recordable, no problem. Now I'm also going to open up something that I know for a fact I won't be able to record, and that is this piece of shit right over here, Netflix. Now I want to point you that this is the first time I'm opening this application. I didn't even download it myself. It just comes with the device, and I do not own an account, nor did I ever owned one, and I am not signed in. Now I'm stressing this out because right now, once it actually loads whatever on the screen, which I think I'm connected to the wrong Wi-Fi, so it's taking a while, but I do want to have content visible right here. For that reason, technically what we already have would be sufficient enough to showcase what I want to. Let's hope that it actually finds better network. One more thing that we can do is hopefully we can pause it. No, never mind, we can't. It's fantastic. So you know what, I'm gonna stop it, type in the password. Unfortunately, we are not able to pause the screen recorder, so which would have been really nice, but anyway, I can just start recording again. Move back to this, and there we go, it loaded up. So you can see clearly right now, at least from the camera, when I'm looking at, when it's pointing at the application and screen, there's content visible, right? There's some shows visible right here, whatever. So let's close this and let's stop the recording. And I'm going to also close this overlay. Even though from here you can access the recordings by clicking on that folder, we can also do so by going to the gallery application. You can find them also in the photos from Google app, but I do prefer myself gallery app, as in here, number one, your screen recordings will be visible in the main tab with all other media, but under albums right here, we can navigate to screenshots and screen recordings album, and you have basically a separation between them. So if I select screen recordings, all you see here is screen recordings. Now let's start off with the first one. So let's play it. And here is the touches on the screen. This white dot, that's where my finger was literally pressing the display. Now, what you're going to see in the next recording, I do want to kind of explain, and just so you are aware what this feature is and what the purpose of it is. And if I remember correctly, this feature is called Draw over other apps. So it basically allows screen recorder and screenshots to kind of see what's happening on the application that is below it in a way. And here's the black bar. So actually, if I pause it quickly, damn it, I didn't pause quickly, and I didn't pause it at all. There we go. So you can see there are literally black bars on top and bottom of this image when it's in, when I switched to the landscape mode. So anyway, whatever that feature is called, it really doesn't matter. But what matters is the fact that it's being used by applications. It's not every application, it's just certain, the application that chose to. And you'll, for the most part, see this being used by bank applications. They do this to protect the privacy and security of the user, you. And as a situation, if like a hypothetical example, if you have somehow downloaded some kind of malware on your device that is basically using screen recordings or screenshots to try to figure out what the passwords or pins are to your bank applications, right? You can imagine how that would be very detrimental to the security of your bank application. So therefore, bank apps do straight up block it. And when such a thing tries to view it, it gets this, which there was a login page right here. You will see that a little bit better in here. So they block it, and when they do block it, it basically shows them, I can just play, there we go. Shows them straight up black screen like this one, and literally nothing is visible. I don't think there's even touch inputs visible on here as I was swiping around. So that's fine, especially that bank applications give you alternative methods of downloading or gaining the content that you'd like to capture. So if you want a confirmation of a payment, you might not be able to capture a screenshot, but you can capture, for instance, or not capture, but download a PDF confirmation file of that payment. So it basically substituted with an actual PDF. Now, Netflix on here basically does the same thing, but it surely isn't there to protect the privacy and security of mine or yours. It's there to protect the corporation from having their content pirated. Like it's your interest to protect some corporate billion-dollar company from having their content pirated using your device that you paid for while charging you money. They're literally using you as a security measure while also making you pay to protect them. Excuse me, what? So I'll be showing you kind of how you can circumvent this. Now I won't be necessarily pointing you exactly to where to go, but I will be telling you how to find it and where to look and how to look. You know, kind of those teach a man to fish, feed him for his life kind of thing, you know. And I'm also doing this way because last time I was recommending specific kind of websites for this. Well, it didn't live long. After like I don't know, a month of doing these kind of videos, it got a DMCA takedown. Now I don't know if this was just coincidence or if it's because I was recording it, but because hey, I want you guys to have the best kind of experience and find whatever would be making your life easier and cheaper. I'm not going to be specifically pointing out websites just so they don't get takedown, so we can enjoy them for much longer. So anyway, that being said, if you want to capture videos or screenshots in a Netflix or any other streaming platform, as this is going to be blocked in most streaming platforms, I believe that you should be in your damn right to do so, as you do pay for this content, and you're not actually breaking, as far as I can tell, any kind of laws by just recording a screen in that application that you pay for. And even furthermore, under the copyright kind of laws, you can technically record something and even share it under fair use, which is as long as it doesn't, like, you know, it's not the recording is not the entire show, but you limit to like short period. So if it's, I believe, like 30 seconds, then you should be able to. Anything above that might basically be copyrightable. You might get a copyright strike for this. So figure out what exactly timer there is, and from there you technically are legally able to do this and use whatever content you would be recording. Now Netflix won't be making this easy for you, so I'll be showing you how you can circumvent that by just going to your browser. There we go. And in the browser, I'll be pointing to the website that I used to show, as it might be easier to find some alternatives by just literally searching for alternatives to this said website. So what I used to show was the pstream.mov. Oops, MOV, there we go. But as you can see, if I navigate here, it's just a dead. Now I can do something else. Just get rid of this. So what we could do is do this, pstream.mov. And you can find a bunch of different Reddit posts which will show you some alternative ways or other places where you can find the same thing. And because what this would be allowing you to do, it's just straight up like a browser-based streaming that would allow you to view movies and shows from any platform that you pay for or don't. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to teach you how to fish. So from there you can open it up, watch any kind of show, turn it on and record it as you're virtually recording the browser, not like Netflix application. And browser can be recorded without a problem. So hey, that's a great circumvention right here. Now you can use this, or you can also search for things like free alternatives to Netflix, and also just check from Reddit. I can tell you from my searches with these kind of things, there is a Reddit post with an entire list. Like we're talking about 20 different links to different sites that do all these same things. So chances are you can find something that tickles your pickle right there and works great for you. So anyway, from there you can obviously record it and you shouldn't have much problem. And screw you Netflix for blocking this. Like I mentioned, I'm doing this because I find it that Netflix shouldn't have the right to alter how my device works without ever even asking me for permission to do so. I don't own an account, so I didn't ever actually agree to terms of service or use. Never did. Never even installed this. So, hey, I'd never give them the permission to do so, so they shouldn't be able to. But because they are, I'm teaching you how to fish for that reason. So anyway, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful. And if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.